Biggleswade United is a semi-pro club in Biggleswade in Bedfordshire, and we play in the Spartan South Midlands League.
Formed in 1959, before my time. It was a breakaway from Biggleswade Town Football Club, who used to play just the other side of us here, which is now the cricket club. Breakaway of Biggleswade Town Reserves, unhappy. They came down here and formed a completely separate side, called themselves Biggleswade United.
It was a Biggleswade United team, I believe, playing back in the 20s, but obviously with the World Wars it disbanded. It was reformed back in 1959 and has expanded into the club you see around us today. I took over as chairman of the club in January 2014. The club has changed a fair bit since I've been on board. That's not obviously all down to me. That's down to a lot of hard work from everyone involved in the club, particularly Tracy and Heather and a lot of the other people that work behind the scenes.
I came down here in 1983 to make tea because I was playing for the ladies team that we introduced down here. Offered to make tea in 1983 and I've been here ever since. So I've moved from tea lady. I'm now the club secretary, but with club secretary comes things like programme editor. We look after the pitch. There's a team of us, a team of 4 that look after the pitch, manage the bar. I've retired from the civil service, so I can afford the time to do it, and it's just a full-time job.
I got an email from Chris Lewis, the chairman, and it was a strange email, thinking about it now. Look, he said, there's 2 or 3 people involved in the club. There's the secretary, Dave, who does a bit of everything. There is me, and we hear you talk about football, so would you like to get involved? And right at that time, I had just got my coaching badges. I had been trying for a year to coach at Hitchintown somehow. I just didn't find the time. So I thought this could be still a good opportunity to do what I wanted to do, which is have a foot on the other side, if you like. So didn't ask which division we were in, didn't ask anything really. I just met Chris, Lewis, who's still the chairman, had a coffee, and then I put to him all my ideas of what we could do. This is before I even went to Second Meadow to see the ground, etc. So, and it's the best thing I've ever done. If you had to define the club by 3 things, say, one is Tracy James, secretary, more than 30 years at the job, 33, 34 years. She's our lighthouse, you know, the light of where we've been, who we are, and where we're going. That's certainly a key element of the club. 2, it's progressing via coaching. So we want the players to have the best coaching possible, because coaching is what makes you a better player, which makes the team a better team. And if it's good coaching, it also allows you to beat teams because you're able to adapt to whatever the other team offers you. That would be the second thing. And the third thing is a community group, which is one. My dream will have a first 11 full of local boys that we developed. So from having no academy at all when we first started, now we've got in total 17 teams. We are from under 7s to the under 18s, 23s. So this is what's gonna make us sustainable, make us part of the local network, and is the path that we've decided to take.
We're not the sort of club that wants to basically go out and buy players in. We're the sort of club that wants to educate the people that we bring in, to mould them into the type of player or the type of individual that will best suit the club and will best fit the community around them as well. So a lot of our work at the club goes into the coaching on the pitch. We have very qualified coaches, very experienced coaches who can help the players to improve their game and to help them understand the game of football better. If you look at the way we play, we tend to play, we don't always get it right, but we tend to play a very different brand of football than what other clubs would play at this level. Now obviously it's a case of that takes time to coach, that can take time to implement. Other clubs come and sometimes they will get the better of us, but we hope that over a longer period of time we will get the better of them over the course of the season, and that will breed that success long term.
So it's very difficult to explain sometimes in the grassroots community that academy and first team should be the same thing, that one cannot live without the other, that is just in the same umbrella. It's difficult, and I'm surprised about that, because it is a path that is quite common if you go further up the divisions or in other countries like Germany or Italy or Spain. So this is what we want to do, an academy that produces players for us, But I tell you what, if the players are so good, we'll just make sure that they be the best they can be and go as far as they can go. We'll help. So you do that by coaching. You get the players to understand the game better, which helps them as they progress if they want to be professionals. We will, as I said, my dream is to have an 11 that is made out of players from the academy. I think we are in the process of doing so, but you know, it's a long process that requires a lot of commitment and time. I'm learning as I go along, which means that I'm going to get it wrong, and in other places you won't be allowed to get it wrong. So here it was like you do the football side of things and help, of course, with the sponsorships and the relations to potential sponsors, etc. And I take both the Biggleswade United shirt and the word Biggleswade United everywhere with me. I tell everybody about the club, and I think that's certainly helped grow. A lot of people know about it. The following on the social networks is quite high, and we realize that is an important part of what we need to do if we want to make this sustainable.
Top 11 are essential. Top 11 is such a fantastic company. They really give us, they really believe in what we're doing, and they really give us time to do what we want. A lot of sponsors come in football generally, and they want instant success, and they want to have certain aims and goals met within a very short period of time, whereas I think Top 11 are aware that what we're trying to do here does take time, and they want to help to develop the club and breed it into a much bigger and greater entity and more successful entity than what it is at the moment. So having their support in terms of their ability to open doors and for their ability to understand what we are and to give their perspective on it is fantastic.
I carry the shirt everywhere, and I've got Pep Guardiola holding the shirt, and Messi and Maradona and Ronaldinho, and it really just takes 10 seconds to tell them, look, we are in the 9th division, we are a community club, we want to grow, and if you could do this for us. And of course they don't say no, they like to give back to us, to football, what they've taken from it in a way. So you go to the clubhouse and to the Hall of Fame, and it should be a stop. If you're in that part of the world, it should be a stop for everybody, because it's become a little bit of a museum of important faces. And then of course I look around, and what I see is my life in the last 4 years. This is the people I met. So you bring the attention. There is of course an idea, a football idea, that I always believed will take you to places, which is via coaching, the best coaching possible. So we need to attract enough attention, to get enough budget to bring the coaches that will make us play different and win. And after that, the important thing here is just remain on that path. You can learn along the way, but continue with it. So I'm trying to lead the club towards, you know, the vision I've got of where we should be, and that requires time, commitment, and yes, the insistence on the idea. I haven't changed a lot since I first came in 4 years ago of what I want to do with the club, and I think that's what will take us to places. My last book, the Pochettino book, is dedicated to Biggleswade United, because I've learned that via doing things together, by getting it wrong, but allowed to get it wrong, so having no fear of getting it wrong, by having a clear vision, you create something. And I feel that we've created something special, and everybody, I heard this from Eddie Jones, the England national coach rugby. I heard that recently talking to him, and it stuck in my mind because it hit a chord. Everybody wants to be part of something special, and I've got the impression that what we're doing here, it's special. So, you know, this week I've been with Ter Stegen, with Rakitic. I'm going to do an event on Monday with Raphael Honigstein and Marcotti, and I love doing that. But when you actually give your time to something that is special, you get much more than you give back, and that's what I'm feeling at the moment with the energy that comes from Biggleswade United.
everybody that's involved and everybody that gets involved with it just feels that there is a family environment here. The football is very important for me, but for me it's the social side of it, it's the camaraderie, the players making sure that they enjoy their game of football on a Saturday. We give them a good pitch, we put all the kit out, we give them good food afterwards, they enjoy it, they stay, they train hard and they work for the club, and that gives you the gratification that it means something to them, and if it means something to them then it means something to me and the spectators. So it is the family of Biggleswade United, and that's more so now than ever, I think.
It's really taken over our lives. It's difficult for it not to. I mean, football is a very big business, and when you get involved in football, it has a way of permeating to every facet of your life. And I've changed my life accordingly. I've changed jobs to make it more easy for me to run the club, and I'm sure there are a number of people across the country, countless numbers of people that have done the same. And I think without the club there would be a massive hole in my life, because ultimately it takes up a lot of time, it takes up a lot of my sort of emotional and physical energy, but the rewarding aspect of being involved in a club like this is fantastic.
Biggleswade United has taken over my life, without any doubt whatsoever, and I'm so happy that is the case. I never thought of it as a hobby. I don't know what a hobby is. If I dedicate my time to it, it's like fully, obviously as much as I can. But yeah, you'll see me on a Saturday in Second Meadow or Hadley, whatever we play, if I'm around, which has been recently a lot of the times, which is, it makes me really happy. For me, my Saturdays, going to the clubhouse and meeting the fans and the players and the coaches and seeing the game, and then you know, after the game talking to the coaches and thinking about things and being destroyed if we lost. That's just part of my life. It has taken over my life. I'm absolutely happy that that's the case, and for me it's the best thing I've ever done.